morning, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Chinese Vice Minister says other nations interfering in the relation between Nepal and China. China urges the Nepalese political leadership not to cause delays in Chinese projects. The bill to amend more than 6 dozen laws stranded at the committee. Lawmakers complain of no time to study them. Opposition accuses of trying to include disputed issues through the law. 3 U.S. service members killed and dozens wounded in an unmanned aerial drone attack in northeastern Jordan near the Syrian border. And Manchester United booked their place in the FA Cup 5th round after surviving a scare to beat Newport County 4-2. Visiting Vice Minister for International Department of Chinese Communist Party, Sun Hyang has held a series of meetings with top leaders of major political parties ever since arriving in Nepal upon the invitation of ruling CPN Maoist Center. Vice Minister Hayan arrived in Kathmandu with her team last Friday on a 4-day visit. Majority of the meetings dwelt on Chinese projects in Nepal, where Hayan urged leaders for efforts to address problems seen in the projects.
लगायतका द्विपक्षीय सम्बन्धसँग जोडिएका विषयहरूमै प्राय सबै वक्ताहरूले द्विपक्षीय सम्बन्धकै विषयमा केन्द्रित भएर बोल्नुभयो.
Just last month, a Chinese company that had taken the contract for the Trishuli 3B hydropower project had decided to scrap the agreement, saying delay on part of the government. Other projects like the Ring Road section and North-South corridor have not gained momentum for the same. On the 4th of January earlier this month, during Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's Nepal visit, the Chinese Communist Party's Deputy General Secretary Tsai Yugang-led team had arrived in Nepal. Foreign affairs experts say an increased movement from delegates of neighboring nations can raise eyebrows and have called for a balanced role.
गफाडी कूटनीतिले अनपत्यारिलो अवस्थामा नेपाललाई पुर्याएको छ. नेपाल आफ्नो सामरिक हितको लागि प्रतिकूल हुँदै गएको छ, अनपत्यारिलो हुँदै गएको छ र त्यसले म अप्ठ्यारोमा पर्न थालेको छु भन्ने अनुभूति दुईटै छिमेकीहरूलाई भएको छ. त्यसैले दुईटै छिमेकीहरू नेपालमा आवत जावत उनको बढ्न थालेको छ, बढेर आशंका बढ्न थालेको छ अनि उनीहरू आफ्नो हित रक्षा गर्नको लागि आफै सक्रिय हुने अवस्थामा पुगेको संकेत यी भ्रमणहरूले दिन्छन्. यी भ्रमणहरूको त्यो संकेतहरूलाई बुझेर हामीले तत्काल सुध्रिन सकेनौं. हाम्रो कूटनीतिलाई, हाम्रो परराष्ट्र नीतिलाई र परराष्ट्र सञ्चालन गर्ने प्रवृत्तिलाई सुधार्न सकेन भने नेपाल अब असिलो अवस्थामा पर्छ, जुन बेलामा सुधार्नको बाटो रहँदैन.
Vice Minister Hayan had met with chairperson of Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Rabi Lamichhane, upon her arrival in Kathmandu. That followed with a meeting with Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and then Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba. She then met with CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli and CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal, among others. Hayan was China's ambassador to Singapore before assuming the current position. Meanwhile, China has expressed grievance regarding delays in projects in Nepal and that several nations had tried to meddle with Nepal-China relations. Speaking during a group meeting with political parties in Kathmandu, visiting Chinese officials said projects in Nepal witnessed delays. Vice Minister for International Department of Chinese Communist Party, Sun Hayan, called on revising existing policies in order to support timely completion of projects. Hayan also said several nations had been attempting to break the relations between Nepal and China and called for efforts to maintain the friendship. Main opposition CPN-UML General Secretary Shankar Pokhrel opined the government should be proactive to implement projects under the Belt and Road Initiative. Pokhrel said Nepal was lagging in identification of projects according to the agreement signed with China.
comprehensive partnership and cooperation मार्फत सहयोगको रणनीतिक साझेदारी strategic partnership of cooperation तर्फ प्रवेश गरेको छ। यो प्रवेशलाई परियोजनाको पहिचानसहित प्रभावकारी कार्यान्वयनमा लैजानु पर्दछ। खास गरी BRI का सन्दर्भमा नेपालले गरेको सहमतिकै सन्दर्भमा परियोजना पहिचान गर्ने कुराहरुमा हामी पछाडी परेका छौं। नेपाल सरकारले पनि यो विषयलाई प्राथमिकताका साथ अगाडि बढाउनु पर्दछ भन्ने म आफ्नो पार्टीको तर्फबाट स्पष्ट धारणा राख्न चाहन्छु।
Pokhrel also urged the Chinese delegation to facilitate resumption of customs points as before the COVID pandemic. Nepali Congress leader Shashank Koirala lauded China's development achievements and said his party was interested in collaborating with the country in development works.
Neighbors, we consider China a friend in need and a reliable development partner. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the people and government of Republic of China and their generosity in providing assistance to Nepal's social and economic transformation in past several years.
Vice Chairperson of the National Assembly Urmila Aryal and leader of Rashtriya Swatantra Party Shishir Khanal had also put forth their opinions regarding Nepal-China relations during the meeting. The practice of presenting bills at the parliament in haste and endorsing them has increased in recent time. Efforts are being made to amend around 80 laws through a single bill, which caused chaos during its discussions. The parliament endorsed only one law last year as the government failed to provide business. Between this period, a few Nepal law amendment bills were registered, which are still being discussed at the committees. Protest has been made demanding for the discussion of only one bill at the time at the committee. Meanwhile, lawmakers say that it would be difficult to study 80 laws that the government wants to amend. After the government presents a bill at the parliament, its amendment has to be registered within 72 hours, and lawmakers are questioning how 80 laws can be studied during that time. While trying to amend high number of laws at once, the government had tried to include disputed issues in the lot. Meanwhile, the government has been blaming the parliament for piling laws to be amended as it had not carried out works on time. Deep study is needed for the formulation of laws. However, the practice of presenting bills at the parliament in haste and endorsing them have caused disputes regarding formulation of laws, and problems have occurred in implementation of such laws. The government has blacklisted around 24 companies, citing failure to complete projects within the allocated deadline. The Public Procurement Monitoring Office under the Office of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers has blacklisted 22 contractor companies. 8 contractor companies recommended by Road Division Office Damoli have been blacklisted. The Public Procurement Monitoring Office has said that the contractor companies have been blacklisted for 1.5 to 3 years. Temperature has decreased across the country in recent days. The temperature in Kathmandu has been recorded below 5 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the dip in mercury in Saptari, Siraha and Thanusha, among other districts of the Tarai region, has affected general life. Those under the poverty line and daily wage workers have been the most affected by the increasing winter cold. The cold wave and thick fog has affected general life in the Tarai districts in recent time. School-going children and senior citizens have been the most affected by the cold wave that is recorded especially during the morning and evening. The underprivileged group have been facing difficulty to make their ends meet as daily works have also remained halted. In the meantime, the number of patients with cold-related ailments at hospitals in Saptari has been increasing. The local authorities, meanwhile, have yet to take initiatives in this regard. The government has held discussions with internal affairs ministers of all the 7 provinces regarding the adjustment of police personnel. Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Narankaji Shrestha called all the internal affairs ministers and held a discussion yesterday. The meeting was held at the Home Ministry as provincial governments continue to pile pressure on the centre for the integration of police personnel at the earliest. the Home Ministry has prepared a draft regarding the Federal Police Act. The draft has proposed to send police up to the DSP post for adjustment and send DIG as the province police chief, who will be responsible to the centre. However, the internal affairs ministers of the provinces are demanding to make the province police chief responsible to the province government. The participating ministers at yesterday's meeting were also asked for their feedbacks on the draft of the Police Act drawn by the federal government. Provincial governments had been warning of waging a protest, saying that the federal government had failed to finalize the integration of police personnel despite almost 1 decade of the implementation of the federalism. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal had directed the Home Ministry to address the issue within 15 days. The provincial governments have formulated their respective acts. However, at the lack of a police act from the centre, the issue has yet to be settled. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on Nepal Airlines Corporation spending billions to construct a new building despite reporting losses? Your options are A, no concern for improvement, B, commission game, and C, new building needed. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces if they know that the government has provision to include even those in the informal sector in the social security scheme. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
श्रममा जोडिएका सबै श्रमिकहरूको चाहिँ सामाजिक सुरक्षा कोषमा आबद्ध भएर उहाँहरूलाई एउटा निवृत्ति भरणको निम्ति निश्चित कोष चाहिँ स्थानीय निकायले उपलब्ध गराउन यो अत्यन्त आवश्यक पनि छ।
जोड्नुपर्छ, तर यत्रोसम्म 28 वर्षसम्म काम गरेको हामीलाई योगदान खै त त्यसको गरे बापत
यो के हो, यो गरिसकेपछि के हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा पूर्ण रूपले जानकारी दिनुपर्छ अथवा चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ तपाईको सचेतना कार्यक्रम जस्तो सञ्चालन गर्नुपर्ने देखिन्छ।
हामीलाई के जानकारी छैन। अब हामी खेती किसानी गरेर गर्ने मान्छे हो।
सरकारको यो कदम जुन कदम छ एकदमै सराहनीय छ।
रिटायरमेन्ट लाइफ पछाडी पनि समेट्ने भएको कारणले यो चाहिँ एउटा राम्रो सरकारको कदम हो।
डिटेल त गइरहेमा मलाई केही थाहा छैन। खास त्यो एउटा अपाङ्ग गरिब गुरुबा ज्येष्ठ नागरिकको लागि भनेर राखिएको एउटा कार्यक्रम हो।
जम्मा गर्नेले जम्मा गर्न सक्छ कि सक्दैन, सरकारले दिन सक्छ कि सक्दैन, त्यो मूलभूत प्रश्न हो।
पहिलाको कुरो थाहा छ तर अहिलेको नयाँ कुरो चाहिँ हामीले के पनि थाहा छैन।
अधिकार सुरक्षित हुने, उनीहरूको चाहिँ रोजगार सुरक्षित हुने कुरा चाहिँ एकदम सकारात्मक कुरा हो।
नागरिक सुरक्षा कोष भनेर सुनेको जोडेको विषयमा थाहा छैन।
कर्मचारीहरूको लागि सामाजिक सुरक्षा कोष राम्रो छ।
सामाजिक सुरक्षा कोष आउनु भनेको सबैभन्दा राम्रो विषयवस्तु हो।
हाम्रै श्रम कटाएर लगानी हुन्छ, त्यसमा थोरै राज्यको पनि लगानी भयो भने राम्रो हुने हो नि त।
जम्मा गरिसके पश्चात चाहिँ हामीले पेन्सनको रूपमा पनि लिन पाउने।
Time now for international update. Three U.S. service members were killed and dozens have been wounded following an unmanned aerial drone attack on U.S. forces stationed in northeastern Jordan near the Syrian border. Biden blamed Iran-backed groups for the attack, the first deadly strike against U.S. forces since the Israel-Hamas war erupted in October and sent shockwaves throughout the Middle East. At least 34 personnel were evaluated for possible traumatic brain injury, a U.S. official said, speaking on condition of anonymity. Two different officials said some wounded U.S. forces were medically evacuated from the base for further treatment. Two U.S. officials said the drone struck near the barracks early in the morning, which could explain the high number of casualties. The Islamic Resistance in Iraq, an umbrella organization of hardline Iran-backed militant groups, claimed attacks on 3 bases, including one on the Jordan-Syria border. Since then, U.S. forces have come under attack more than 150 times by Iran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria, causing at least 70 casualties prior to yesterday's attack, most of them traumatic brain injuries. U.S. warships have also been fired at by Iran-backed Houthi forces in Yemen, who are regularly attacking commercial ships passing through Red Sea waters off Yemen's coast. Ukraine's SBU security service said it had uncovered a corruption scheme in the purchase of arms by the country's military, totaling the equivalent of about $40 million. The SBU released images on Saturday showing raids being carried out as a statement that said an investigation conducted with the assistance of Defense Ministry had exposed officials of the Ministry of Defense and managers of arms supplier Lviv Arsenal who stole nearly 1.5 billion hryvnias in the purchase of shells. The SBU said a contract for the shells was clinched with Lviv Arsenal in August 2022, 6 months into the war, and payment was made in advance with some funds transferred abroad. The announcement of mass procurement fraud confirmed by Ukraine's defense ministry will have a huge resonance in a country beleaguered by Russia's nearly 2-year-old invasion. China and Thailand signed a mutual visa exemption agreement yesterday, which will come into effect from March 1, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. The deal is expected to bring more Chinese travelers to Thailand. Chinese holders of ordinary official passports and ordinary passports and Thai holders of ordinary passports will be allowed to enter and stay in each other's country visa-free for up to 30 days with a limit of 90 in every 180 days. Following the announcement of the visa agreements, searches on Chinese travel sites related to Thailand were 7 times higher compared to the previous day, according to data from the C-Trip, China's leading online travel agency. Searches for flights and hotels were more than 6 times higher, with Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Koh Samui and Pattaya the most searched destinations. The director of the Tourism Authority of Thailand's Beijing office, Pakanan Vinishchai, said that the policy will facilitate people-to-people exchanges and strengthen the traditional friendship between the two countries. On January 25th, China and Singapore signed a mutual visa exemption agreement in Beijing, which will come into effect from February 9. Currently, China has signed visa exemption agreements with over 150 countries covering different types of passports. SpaceX launched a number of Starlink internet satellites from a Falcon 9 rocket yesterday. The rocket launched from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. The Starlink mission will send 23 new internet satellites into low Earth orbit. The Falcon 9 first stage booster has had 17 prior flights, including the X-1 launch in April 2022. SpaceX landed the first stage booster on the drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas in the Atlantic Ocean. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Chinese Vice Minister says other nations interfering in the relation between Nepal and China. China urges the Nepalese political leadership not to cause delays in Chinese projects. The bill to amend more than 6 dozen laws stranded at the committee. Lawmakers complain of no time to study them. Opposition accuses of trying to include disputed issues through the lot. 3 U.S. service members killed and dozens wounded in an unmanned aerial drone attack in northeastern Jordan near the Syrian border. And Manchester United booked their place in the FA Cup 5th round after surviving a scare to beat Newport County 4-2. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.